Let's call this regular meeting of the Area Planning Commission to order. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We got a pen and I'll do the roll call. Still a polka dot pen.
Excuse me.
Bill and Bev's absence, will you take roll call?
Yes, I shall.
On the
And I
quiz.
shall also do my best to do the minutes.
Well, at least it's recorded.
Yep. Because I always emphasize the Bev is the most important things are, okay, any comments, who speaks, who doesn't speak, and motion, who makes the motion, and the gist of the motion. Most important things. Okay. Okay, so. Darren Price.
Here.
Bill Free.
Present.
Mr. Durham vacant. Okay, Dale Munson. Okay. Okay, all right. Gary Naylor.
Present.
Bob Stewart. Not here. Okay, Brian Robb.
Here.
Bill Mackey.
Here.
And Mr. Drew is not here this evening. Bill McDaniel, present. Jeff Wessling.
Present.
And Bev Root is not unable this evening. Okay?
All right, we do have a quorum, so we'll proceed on. There is one set of minutes for our approval tonight, the April 27th, 2023 meeting.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I'll
Okay.
make that motion.
Okay, what's the date on it, please?
April 27th,
Okay.
2023.
Okay, approve, okay,
I think
Motion.
Darren, didn't you, Darren
okay, motion.
Yes,
Darren,
second.
and Brian second.
Rob.
Is there any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Minutes will be approved as presented.
Continuance,
Now
parking
we'll,
amendment.
yeah, we'll open up the parking amendment public hearing. Now, is there any further discussion or debate on that ordinance as presented to us? Or should I say as amended to us, because we have added some things to it. Added and subtracted. I think it's probably fairly cut and dry. It much shorter than our original, and that was our goal,
Yes.
I believe, was to make it less of a book and more of a policy. Bill did a good job and spent a lot of time on it, putting it together. If there's no further comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
By Brian,
Okay, motion close,
Darren second.
Brian, Darren,
Is there any discussion or debate? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign.
motion carries. The debate, or the public hearing will now be closed. Is there any further discussion by the board prior to voting on the amendment? I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance as amended.
So moved.
Motion by Brian,
Second.
second by Bill. Motion made and seconded that we approve the new parking ordinance as amended. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Unanimous.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Motion
gentlemen.
carries. Thank you very much for everybody's work on this. I know we've drug it out because of some other issues, but I'm glad we accomplished that. We've done quite a bit this year and got quite a bit accomplished this year. I'm very pleased with that. Next on the agenda, the Solar Energy Committee, we haven't gotten anything to update. We didn't meet this month due to the holidays. We're trying to get organized for next month's meeting, which will be the 11th of January,
Yes, yeah, I need to correct the,
the yearly schedule.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing I did not send it yet to the newspaper.
Yes, it is.
So waiting for y'all to approve that.
And then, zoning code amendment, accessory uses, Bill said he's been working some on that, had
Yeah.
some time to work on that.
So what I've had is I've started researching and then just downloading in some of the various documents of accessory uses. But the one I've been particularly interested on is primarily within the state of Indiana are the accessory dwelling uses. Because I know we've had a lot of conversations about that. Okay, and then I'll also look at include within that will be the temporary accessory use, such as the temporary, accessory dwelling unit, which is what we have had people in the past was the mobile homes. After the one we had with the mobile home, it's like, it's ridiculous everything we have and need. So, and what I'll look for language related to the temporary is some language at least for a temporary accessory dwelling unit, and for the tiny home for that. At least with the tiny home that, I know there's a lot of reticence and not a lot of understanding. So I really want to get, before we really have a discussion on those, need more discussion. And it might be one that may require some board members to visit some very places that have adopted those ordinances, preferably communities similar to Fayette County. But it seems as though larger cities and have been a little more stronger supportive of the tiny homes.
In Knightstown, right on 40,
Yeah.
there is a quarter block with several that are set up as businesses.
Yeah, they've built
Yeah.
them, but I think the town has done it,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Yeah, and I do know that there's one I've read about is they use the tiny homes actually as a, rather than constructing new structures for camping, some private camping, is they allow them the use of those down in Monroe County. I think it was Monroe County that allowed them. So to see who's doing actually what with them, and because I think it's to get everybody with the board, and then of course elected officials start getting comfortable really with what's being done out there before dropping it. Because a lot of people are concerned with them because And I personally want to understand more about them also, how they're being done.
Well, I think it's important that, I'd really like to see us at least open the door next year
Yeah.
on the whole tiny home idea, because I have had some people approach me that would like to see us have the capabilities of villages or subdivisions of
Yeah.
tiny homes.
And I also regularly get, people asking me about that, just for individual ones. And so I know that some of the commissioners, as I know Tracy in particular, she has been approached by multiple people who are asking about them. So it's it's something to really dig into, and then also give a lot of thought to, a lot of discussion.
So I'd really like to see the board start looking at that next year. Pretty hard and heavy,
Yeah, I think so.
so, okay. Have you had any time to work on the reformatting?
No, I
Okay.
really.
All right, we'll walk by that. And then, expiring APC members, or positions. We still have, the seat that Brian Durham was holding. For anyone on the board that might know someone, or the audience out there, this is a mayor's appointment. And that will be, that will finish that term till December 31st of 2025. If anyone might be interested in holding that position, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but it has to be a citizen
Yep.
resident
For the area,
of Connersville,
for the area plan commission,
for
that is
the
correct.
area planning commission
correct.
only.
So if anybody is interested, please contact the mayor.
Yeah, so, or if anybody here knows of someone that's within the city limits that might be interested. We really need to get that spot filled. It's very important that we have all of our seats filled. Then, Darren, you'll be up, and I think you're interested in continuing on, so I hope that the mayor will make that appointment. And then Darrell Drew has been reappointed by the school board to serve another year. Bill, you'll be up as commissioner appointment,
Yep,
so.
annual appointment, yep. So,
And then,
yeah, so Bill and Darrell are the only annual appointments.
yes, yeah. So that's it on the APC.
Yep.
That will be up
Okay, and
at
since,
the end of this year.
okay, and since I don't know if we will have a quorum with the BZA, we could make the announcement about Mr. Crawford.
Okay, all right.
And then with the BZA, if someone then could contact the mayor's office regarding that.
That is a city
Yep.
resident appointment by the mayor. So if anyone's interested in serving that position, please contact the mayor's office as quickly as possible so that he can make that appointment and we can get the BZA up and running with a full staff
Yep.
the 1st of January. So, and that's the only BZA, no?
Yeah.
Darren would be an annual appointment
Yep.
by the APC,
Yep.
so, voted on by the APC.
Yeah, and actually with the changes with the timing to the third Thursday of the month, has actually been beneficial for the area plan commission and the zoning board, because as you're probably aware, that we've had times where the quirks of the calendar and not able to get someone in place, and then not be able to get somebody up to speed, when it's been
Yeah,
yeah.
early on,
Yeah.
earlier in the month, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions or comments about appointments? We'll move on to the 2024 schedule. It's in your packet there for The APC?
Real quick, I do have a question. Are these bottom ones typos?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, Bill didn't update those.
Oh, the years on some of those. Yeah.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
Sorry for the confusion.
The meetings are set currently for the third Thursday, 6 p.m., except for, no, I think,
Yeah, except for November and December.
yeah.
Those are the only ones this year.
Well, November is the third, isn't it?
Yeah,
21st?
no, that's right. Yeah, we're scheduled for the fourth Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
Scheduled for the fourth Thursday. In November and December are the third Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. You had me confused, Gary.
All right, yeah, we
Times that's
meet, we
easy.
technically meet the 4th,
Yeah.
don't we? Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
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 Okay, all right. Are there any problems or questions with those dates? Do we want to keep our meetings prior to the BZA meeting, like this is? Or do we want to, we've tried it for, what, a year and a half now, or
Year and a half.
something like that, going before them again? There was only one or two meetings that I felt like we had to shut things down so that we could
Yeah.
move on, so. But I don't want us to carry in and force the BZA to run late, especially when they have public hearings with corporate representatives and whatnot. I'd like for that to be on time as much as possible, so I didn't know whether we wanted to keep it like this or for another year, or
It's fine with me.
everybody?
In my opinion, it's easier on me because they're both together. But
No, I'm normally, or we was.
I do understand, yes.
It used to be 7 and 8.
We had
We
it flipped
were
the
at
other way.
7 and 8, and we started at 8 so that we could
Ah,
go as long as we
I see.
needed to, and in discussions and public hearings and whatnot.
Well, I think we know enough ahead now for the BZA, if they have big stuff going on, that
We can postpone
Adjust, yeah.
or adjust
Yeah.
to that, I think is, so. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve these dates for the year.
So moved.
second.
Brian and Darren. Motion made and seconded that we approve the dates as presented for the coming year. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed to same. Motion carries. Bill has the wrong dates for the solar meetings. That is actually, they're all currently scheduled for the second Thursday of each month. So with that amendment, I assume we need to vote on these, or?
Yeah, if you go ahead and then vote on the amended date, okay, you can approve it. And then it will be, so then well beforehand, I can then get the meetings to the newspaper.
Okay.
And get those to newspaper and then Channel 3.
Just the time on the May one, too.
The May? Oh, yeah, it's not 66 PM. It's just 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Held your finger too long on the 6 button.
Yeah, well, if there would have been a third 6, it's because I would have been listening to Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Okay, is there a motion to accept these meeting dates as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carries. That takes care of minutes, or the meeting dates, I think.
Yep.
The annual plan. Bill has somewhat of a draft in here that if,
Yeah, and one of the first things they need to do is okay, because when I received the things, when I got back in the office, it was everything was just jumbled together. So I do need to then get for the building code to the city and then the county to arrange their public hearings for it. The new building code ordinance.
oh, we've got to do it again.
No, we don't have to do it again. But I just have to then present it and then get it in front of the city council. And
Oh,
then
it
the county
hasn't been
commission. Correct, it
Okay.
hasn't been done.
Oh, okay.
And it's.
I understand now.
Yeah, and I take full responsibility for that.
Revise and adopt new APC, BCA rules of procedures.
We've
That's
talked about that
been
for
a year and a
well,
half.
Yeah, we've talked about that
project,
for
so-
several years,
Yeah.
multiple years, ever since the fiasco on County Line Road.
Now, the Zoom meetings, is that something that the commissioners and the council will have to adopt to allow that? Jeff, maybe that's a question for you.
What's the question?
To be able to have the legal Zoom meetings, is that still legal to do that, or does there have to be special
We have to pass it-
legislation?
We have to pass an ordinance, yeah.
Okay, so
So it'd be the city and the county
Right.
would have to pass it, or would it be the APC?
No, I think the APC can pass the ordinance on how we want to do it for our board.
Okay, all right.
well, since it's rules, so we don't actually need an ordinance to say it, but it's
put it on
sufficient to
rules.
adopt it in the rules of procedure.
It's a good question, because I think actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think they said you have to have an ordinance.
Okay,
So we
See,
would
I
have
thought
to
there
have-
had to be something special, local.
There has to, so now I think about it, I think the rule put in place is there has to be an ordinance before you can do a Zoom, so we would have to, we can't do ordinances, so we would have to have the commissioners and,
yeah,
And
so,
the city
yeah, so we would need to do this.
if you want to do Zoom meetings.
Yeah, well, okay, but we can still have, okay, someone dial in on Zoom,
Yeah,
correct?
they just can't vote or, right.
Okay, all right, okay, so that we can do in the rules of procedure. Okay,
Yeah, so we don't need, like,
So
somebody's
a-
gonna present, we don't need,
A petitioner,
Oh, you're talking about just like a petitioner or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
No, that doesn't need, we don't need
Okay,
anything.
all right.
No, that's specific rules for attendance by this board or voting by this board.
all right.
okay,
For presentations or anything like that, Zoom is appropriate at all times.
Okay.
okay. all
And
right.
so I'd assume probably still wise to put it in the rules of procedure to make sure it's an option.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Amend zoning code to allow reuse of current non-conforming parcels, that's done.
That was completed, yep. Reformat the zoning code, that's still still a work in progress.
Yeah,
Okay, now, parking regulations,
is completed,
yep. Our accessory uses, I think that's still,
in progress.
yeah, I think that should be one of the big priorities for me.
And, yeah, will
Yeah,
the tiny home developments, will that fall under that?
yeah, we'll start looking at, well,
Or should that be a separate?
we can, I
Plan.
think that would have to be probably something separate.
That's what I thought.
Is the.
It's not accessory use,
No.
we're actually talking about a development,
Exactly.
or
Now,
potential
now it
development.
can be treated as an accessory use, say if it's gonna be the one for as a temporary accessory.
Right, yeah.
Accessory dwelling unit for the healthcare of a family member.
I guess I was referring to permanent.
Yeah, now permanent, yeah, that's when it bite off on
All right.
itself.
So can we, everybody agree to add that to our plan for next
Sure.
year?
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we want to talk about or work on next year in particular? Feel free to speak up.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, and I think that because of what's going on with once the city and the county adopt the new development standards, there's things that really need to be edited out of the zoning code, edited out of the subdivision regulations, as far as the development standards. Development standards, stormwater management, erosion control. And those can be done by referencing the adopted stormwater standards. So so that way, we don't have that, and.
So when are they expecting to have that ready?
Okay, the discussions were when to have yeah, Jeff, has there been any more discussions about the joint public hearing between city and county for that?
For what?
Of the development standards?
Nope.
Okay, so that'll be whenever.
Okay. Could be next year, could be later.
It's not gonna be this year.
Yeah.
No,
Will you bet your paycheck on
I
that?
bet paycheck on it.
matter of fact, you'll bet your paycheck on that.
Probably would, wouldn't he?
But, yeah, so I think so that's one, whereas, so whenever that's adopted, it's,
That'll be about like the issue that we had come up the last 2 months.
yeah.
That, when it comes up, we'll have to address it
Yeah.
at that time.
So that's it, yeah, so that'll be good for those, and yeah, for both
But
of
we
those.
addressed, we're working on solar, readdressing that, but we've spent a lot of time on the original ordinance, and
Yeah.
hopefully we're gonna spend a lot more time on the commercial side of the solar ordinance, and that'll be on our plate for next year, and hopefully we can get that wrapped up in 6 or 8 months of next year and have it ready for the commissioners and the council to look at. The parking ordinance, we addressed that this year, and that was one of our goals, and I'm glad that we have been able to accomplish that. Where the rules and procedures, I sure would have liked to seen us being able to tackle that, but there's just not enough of us to get that done this year. But hopefully we can address that next year.
Yeah,
And I know Carrie has been a important part of that, and hopefully she will be able to spend some more time with it for next year and help us try to get that worked through. She's a vital part of that, I believe. So anything else that we need to add to that plan for next year? I don't want to put too much on our plate that we feel overwhelmed, but yet I want us to address the issues that each one of us have. I think that's the purpose of this board, and the variety of people that's here.
Well, I think getting the accessory use, we've gone back and forth on that since I started, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
because I know that Brian did put a
Brian.
lot, Brian put a lot into trying to
Yeah.
work with the accessory use. So I think a lot of the concerns and then some of the language in place is already there. And so part of it will be that, as we know, some of them aren't really appropriate anymore because technology.
They don't fit.
Yeah, technology significantly changed with some of these items. Okay, and the.
So is that enough to make
Well,
that
Oh, it's more than enough.
in written form?
Oh, yeah, that's more than enough to make me crazy.
You wanna bring that back as
Yeah,
and do it final in
Yeah.
January, then, if that's okay with everybody?
January, okay. All right.
All right, then, moving on. Draft, we've got that, director's report. Everybody got that, I think, in email, or if not, it's here in the packet, I'm sure. Any questions for Bill on that?
Well, one thing I was happy with was even though we didn't have the large number of dwellings that we had the one year with the darkening heights, is that we've had a further increase, and then up to this point, we've gotten to where, okay, for the year, we're already up to, so far in December, up to something like 243, so we're up to averaging over 20 a month, which it's significantly improvement from what things were, especially after 2008.
Yeah.
And nearly $11 million in construction costs.
Yep. So, and there's and of course, construction cost with, there's a couple of projects that are really going to do quite a bit as far as construction cost goes. One is when they finally start with Reed, the Reed project, and they're working through some things with, I guess some of them are the 24th Street, and then also the finalizing the some of the groundwork for Connersville utilities with the stormwater and erosion control. And then so their goal is to then have that taken care of so they can submit for as they really wanted to have a foundation release before now, but because they wanted to get the foundation before winter so when once weather got started in the spring, improve, that would be in place, and then it'd be a lot faster than to put up the building itself. Since it's a steel building, it would be kind of like putting up an erector set. Okay, so, and so that'll be a significant project. And then same thing with the company going into the Vistion.
Yeah.
So they're finalizing engineering to get their design release. So, and
They anticipate spring or yet this winter?
hopefully this winter. Yeah.
Because most of it'll be inside.
It's inside, so that
Yeah.
really won't be a problem there.
So that'll
So the
be-
first thing they'll do will be to anything they need to add as far as, any in-floor plumbing, any in-floor drainage, drains, sanitary, things like that. That'll be the first thing they'll do.
And is that something that you'll be inspecting, or will we need to hire that out?
We won't need to hire someone out for that. That'll be easy enough with that one.
Okay.
So we'll still need to look at how to deal with, I've gotten some suggestions from the gentleman for the, he's working for the engineering company that's keeping oversight with the Connersville Utilities project. That's coming along, that's coming along also. So then they're also working on for the Kroger Fuel Center, they're working on the site engineering, then also the actual engineering itself of the structure. And the main one is with Reed is there's a lot to be done on the design side. I mean, it's a pretty significant project.
Okay.
So,
All right. So, now, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but under our new permit fees schedule, we've allowed for instance, the Reed project, the permit fees that will come in will be significant enough to hire the necessary inspectors if we have to go outside.
yeah, and it's
And we'll just have to go to the council to reappropriate those funds, right?
Yeah.
And the commissioners?
yeah, and so there's some things I want to talk about with the commissioners about it. Because if we're using the formula we actually have right there, the cost will be way, way beyond the actual cost of the services, even hiring someone to do the engineering. So, which leaves me uncomfortable. Because the idea is that your fees should actually cover the cost of your services. So if it goes way beyond really the cost of services, it just causes a dilemma for me. It's kind of an ethical thing for me. And,
You don't want it to be profitable.
well, you're not supposed to be profitable with your fees. You're supposed to cover the cost.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a lot of other permits out there that don't cover the cost.
So, But,
And some of those larger
yeah,
permit fees that come in, they can offset those
Yeah.
losses. I mean, that's, but the only thing that concerns me is that if we start modifying our fees schedule for this permit or that permit, or how do we keep up with it, and who got the discounts and who didn't,
yeah.
is the only problem that I have with that.
Sure.
So, yeah, so it's still something trying to, give some thought to that as far as those go. But, yeah,
So,
so it's like I said, it's a little bit of, to me, there's a conundrum there. That needs to be sorted out.
okay, any other questions or comments about the monthly report? I'll entertain a motion to accept it as presented, if not.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that we approve the report as given. Any other questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Anything else, Bill, that you have?
No, that's pretty much what I had.
Anything else from the board members? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
Since Daryl's not here, I'll say, I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded for adjournment. Any other discussions or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.